Get right, get ready, lift your eyes to the sky. As the morning breaks, watch the shadows pass by. From the east to the west, His glory will shine. In the hearts of the faithful, love divine. Can you hear the whispers of the truth that's been said? Open up your spirit, let His words be your bread. Get right, get ready, He's calling, you'll see a promise of hope, a chance to be free. In every nation, His message will parade. The gospel of the kingdom, love will never fade.
Welcome to the Gator Ferps Special Operating Environments.
A continuation of advice to help you while facing austerity and mobility, especially in the increasing risks with catastrophic population dispersing events such as major fires, flooding, earthquakes, etc. Let's take a look at the learning objective for this session. Task: travel to a desert region with special operating environment elements. Implied task list: in each region you may have the potential to visit, make sure you understand generic information on how to recognize threats, remain aware of them, and have minimum safeguards. Conditions: given the need to travel to a desert area such as the Arabian Desert region in extreme heat, with the requirement to travel from high-density population urban areas to remote desert landscapes. Standards: plan, prepare, assemble and pack the equipment needed tailored to the region within allowable carry-on baggage weights, balancing needs between travel mission and purpose to the minimum survival readiness requirements. When in country, maintain discipline and readiness and react appropriately when situations arise. Below are the primary references used in this lesson. Gator Ferps Workbooks, Supporting in Planning and Preparation for Traveling. Gator Ferps Handbook 2, Supporting and Training Prior to Deployment. Gator Ferps Tactical Standard Operation Procedures 1, Tactical Take-Along Handbook to support information needs when an emergency occurs.
I know where you put it.
The Lord's called my
Where did you
name,
put it?
gone
Where did you put it?
but
Where
I'm
did you
not
put
the
it?
same to the fool like me. Fight on His side in this great army.
Yeah,
I'll
get that
take
fat
him
butt
up.
up.
I got a new
I'm talking to
breed,
you,
like
cat.
the Ranger so bold.
You think I'm carrying yourself around and stuff hit the fan? I ain't gonna be carrying your fat butt around. What's wrong with you? Here, study.
Oh, I'm enlisted, armored up strong in the spirit force. I'm where I belong.
Don't hesitate. Commit adequate time to plan and prevent any life-threatening scenarios your small group unit may face. To help get your head above water of life's competing business, crawl, walk, and run your way to getting a grasp on readiness. The Gator Rapid Action Survival Plans process works to quickly increase minimum readiness status to an acceptable initial operating level. Then work on a continuous disaster preparedness improvement process to perpetually move to your best readiness rate possible. Just like a military small unit team, you never want to jump directly into action without first conditioning, training, and progressively developing the capabilities needed for successful mission accomplishment. The series of publications contain a waterfall of information that overlaps and maintains a continuum in the following general sections. With the SWAMP-X exercise methodology, you can use these as frameworks of thought to think through any situation. Each SWAMP-X series of tables is similar, with the intent to provide you with step-by-step advice with the ability to scribe notes related to specifications in your situation. We'll use SWAMP-X Hotel, Mobility, and Survivability assessments as an example of how you can apply this to a practical exercise tailored to the desert or any other region you intend to travel to. There are too many tragic survival stories or personnel who were caught off guard. Failures to properly plan and incorporate risks assessments and adapting to the risks with proper gear and concepts of survival support led to disaster, many with fatal consequences. The example of SWAMP-X Hotel runs you through a series of checklists which in garrison you can use to plan and train using the workbooks and handbooks. Then, while mobile, the tactical SOPs will provide portable information that may be critical when a situation arises. For example, the Gator Table 4 series, with emergency first responder aid and casualty triage assessment. Gator Table 5.3 Shelter Considerations. Gator Table 6 Radio Communications. Gator Table 11.20 series such as fire site prep, shelter development and occupation plan, expedient shelter assessment process, and in this example maintain total life survival readiness in GT 11.26. Let's talk quickly about some advice for individual gear every person should carry, which I call the GIML, or Gator Immediate Mission Load versus the Gator Existence Load.
The first thing you want to know is this piece of equipment is for your ability to have access useful right with you at all times. This stuff over here is for access for your base camp, so forth. If you set your ruck down, you still want to be able to have what you need to be able to operate. And this is the stuff that you need to have, such as water. I've got a 2-quart canteen, and this is another canteen here. This also is a canteen that I can use as metal for heating stuff up.
Acquire essential items of individual clothing, equipment, protective items, etc., which are carried by individuals to complete the immediate tasks. This should include load-carrying equipment, or LCE belt, haversack, or other carryable configuration in which all items can be worn at all times. Immediate Load GIML Kit has all critical assets needed for survival operating systems functionality in the performance of life-saving tasks such as cutting, lighting, hydrating, etc. The Existence Load Kit carried in a droppable rucksack or in boxes or bags in a vehicle, bike, wagon, etc., carries all other gear to enhance long-term survival duration. There are so many survival stories of personnel who did the right thing to pack the right gear but then became separated from that gear during a violent event, thus only the items on them provided help. For me, a tarp or poncho, extra cloth pieces, knife, fire starter, water bottle, heater, whistle, signal kit, and multi-tool with axe and shovel are critical. How much is too much? This depends. If you have a rugged bike, trailer, wagon, or 4x4 heavy-duty truck with a full tank, you can pack a lot. Alternatively, a potential 50-mile hike to safety over rough terrain would prove difficult with excessive weight with only your own load-bearing capability. This is a critical decision-making node, and alternative mobility options, such as an all-terrain push or pull cart, wagon, bike, etc., it will dramatically increase your load-carrying capability. This is an example of how expedient items such as nylon webbing, rope, straps, belts can serve as expedient load-carrying tools to make an Alaskan pack or a trump line. Finding a balance between all the stuff needed for each scenario is key. Knowing bare-bones bushcraft is critical if you are stranded without resources, but it is better to start survival with formidable assets. Individual equipment and supplies basic load. Pre-coordinate and scribe on your SOPs the basic items every small group member should carry for their individual use. Make sure these are all designated in a common place for each item. For example, the individual first aid kit for everyone should be in the same place if a person needs first aid. The Gator Summit program makes this process easy for you. See the GIML and gel kits in Section 5 of Gator Ferps Workbook and Handbooks 3 contained in the Need-Based Capabilities Assessment, the NBCA, and the Equipment and Resource Living Working Checklist. Gator Table, GT 12.38, contains a helpful aid for the planning team, special task equipment, and resources. Group Load Sharing. For items needed for a single encampment, distribute the load across the small group unit members. For example, the camp cooking pot, tents, cooking equipment, shared food items and condiments, and a large lightweight, weatherproof tarp with pegs and ropes pre-rigged for quick expedient shelters. A little thought and effort prior to departure will help ensure maximized readiness. Even if you are not an avid outdoorsman, just doing small things like packing your vehicle with critical survival items so it is always there may mean the difference between life or death. Now we'll get into some hands-on garrison and field practical advice to help you work through development of your technical knowledge. Then you'll need to get busy with getting up and out and conduct practical exercises outdoors with your small group unit.
All right, so let me turn this around so you can look at my ugly face. backwards plan, what I call battle drills, your family emergency leadership plans. Basically take and divide training tasks up into task conditions and standards and organize these in battle drills. For example, you're driving along in the middle of the desert in a vehicle going from point A to point B with your family or whatever you're doing on whatever purpose, whatever objective, and then boom, the engine knocks out, it's overheated, you're stuck out in the middle of nowhere. Then from there, what's your first steps? Remember survival, size up the situation, undue haste makes waste. Go through that, remember that acronym, so don't panic and don't make rash decisions. That's where it says, undue haste makes waste. Vanquish fear and pain, improvise, etc. Practice that, learn that, mnemonics, if that's what it's called. Okay, so boom, the car's out, the engine's gone, you're on a very remote. Imagine yourself out there in the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna inventory what I have with me or what I don't have with me. Your concepts of survival sport. How are you gonna have water? How are you gonna have, water's priority. You also have safety, of course, in immediate disaster. You gotta have safety, you gotta have air, of course, but then you're gonna come to water. Water, if you don't have water, you're gonna start feeling it, especially in the desert. If the situation turns to the more long-term, you're gonna have to decide, do I bug out and leave the vehicle? Do I stay? Do I wait? Hey, I don't have a radio, or hey, I got a cell phone, but hey, I failed to get a solar panel, battery pack, etc. Oh, and my one cord broke, piece of junk. You buy this, and but then it breaks. So I got plenty of redundancy with cords, cables, everything needed to plug in. So what good is it to have a solar panel and I don't have the excess cords to be able to power up in case one breaks? Yeah, and in some areas might not have enough sun to be able to power with solar. You at least want to have a battery pack to supply and recharge your battery, one charge at least, to get you through the night in case your car breaks down right in the middle of the night. Now you don't have any sun, which is not going to power. But then as soon as that sun comes up, you better be maximizing your exposure to the sun, ensuring that's out. Do that backwards plan. Walk yourself through the entire scenario. Think about what you would need. For example, you're sitting there and you're in the vehicle, now the sun's blazing down, and you're thinking to yourself, it's hot. I'd like to keep this direct sun off me. Well, guess what? I got a nice tarp that I could pop up. But whoa, I forgot to get guide cords or lanyards or some kind of something to be able to put it up. And oh, by the way, you know what? I forgot. I just realized it right now. So I was thinking through. I've got my tarp. I'm in the vehicle. It's hot. I want to throw a tarp up to be able to get the direct sun off me. But where are my tent pegs? I thought I brought some tent pegs with me. Apparently I didn't. I have to find them. If I didn't, but imagine that. So I'm sitting out there. There ain't no rocks out in the desert to be able to make a dead man. So I might have to have sticks, which in the desert you don't have sticks to be able to take and bury into the sand. So what am I gonna do? Well, hopefully I would have the ability to either tie it off to the vehicle, tie it over the vehicle. These are the things you just gotta work through. God bless. Have a great evening. Gator Ferps Workbook 3. Good book. You have a chance. Camping orientation. One of the biggest things is to become proficient in the ability to make going out and enjoying nature easier. So it's not a laborious, depleting event. Take your small group unit. If they're scared or hesitant to go in the wilderness because of bugs, which bugs terrorize humans, they're like, get out, you dirty people, you. Teach, budge,
Teach your small group unit bug control methods, meaning there's ways to reduce the impact of bugs. Sprays, peppermint, and it's, you know, some are better than using those chemicals which are hazards to your health. Here we have flies flying around. I'm not here long, I'm just here for the day to sit out here and build my endurance. Just do day trips, get outside. And if you try to sit down and build interest within your small group unit to get in the outdoors. Building interest means shared events, outdoor photography, mountain climbing, select areas, find out the history about it, do treks about in the mountains and or the region where you're going to make it interesting and make targets that you want to go to discover. Look at that sunset. Because if you sit inside the TV, look at this. You don't want to sit inside when you got that kind of a reel. I got a reel screen right in front of me. Workbook 3, Section 6, Needs-Based Case Assessments. This section has all kinds of good checklists to help guide you through thinking about the different sustainment operating systems such as deploy, command, communicate, mobility, protect, fuel, sustain, fix, maintain, enhance. All right, and the subcomponent areas of each. You know, how do you manage water? What's your plan? How are you going to cut things? How are you going to do work? Your energy, fire management. How are you going to shelter yourself? And what's your methodology to shelter yourself? As well, think of redundancy. Say, for instance, if you have a tarp put up for a shelter, what are you going to use for your individual protection? So you have a tarp, and then you have a poncho, and or think about that. Well, all along here, good advice, good active thinking, space for notes as you learn. Wear and hygiene helps you to think about how you're going to aid yourself, how you're going to clean, clothe, outer garments, jackets protect from rain, sun, cold, wind. Here during the day in the desert, they have to worry about sun, rain only during periodic moments in the year. But you'll have possibly windstorms, but you'll have intense sun during the summer months. Footwear, you know, boots, heavy duty, for example. Or if you're in the woods, in the mountains, heavy duty boots that have for example, these boots would not be good in mountainous terrain because they're the tan suede leather. They get wet, they stay wet. So all along here, we got a lot of good checklists, field expediency, adaptability, how to think through each area. When you select an area, you notice these wadis right here where the rain runs. Captures heavy rains pour down here. As you can see right there how the water dug through there. Clothing keys. You gotta be careful when you're setting up a camp. For example, when you're checking criteria selection when you're going shopping, and or if you can't afford to be going to buying all kinds of the fancy $100, $200 jackets, when you consider this stuff, you might already have a light windbreaker. It's the zippers, the buttons, the stitching, durability. Then you have layered so that you've got a fleece undergarment. So if you have layered outer jacket, fleece jacket, sleeping shirt, etc., you'll have your key for clothing. You'll be covered from a range of as well. Like I said, like I have tons of these cloth pieces everywhere, so that they are multi-purpose. If it gets extra cold, I've got a ton of wool and fleece pieces to help. And rucksack capabilities. Backpacks you buy, they can be very expensive. Go to military surplus shops and garage sales, etc., thrift shops, and use this to evaluate what's good for you. Every pack that I have is mostly bought from, well, some left over from the military, and or some bought in military surplus shops or garage sales. I got one really good backpack for $8. So through each area, questions to help guide you Now, I know this may seem too intense, but think about it. I developed all this knowledge. When I retire from the military, for example, the military decided for me what I'm going to wear. Now I have the freedom, but also the responsibility, because no one's doing the thinking for me, so I got to figure it out. No one telling me how to protect my home. No one's telling me how to protect and acquire and source different methods to heat water in case I break down. And I took all this knowledge that I've been learning, amalgamated it from the military through lots of survival experience, lots of military training, lots of individual study, as well as taking my formal studies in education and business, etc., and formulating that and combining and packing it all into this set with your ability to have a checklist in each area and guide for things that you might, and in the room to expand other things that you might want to acquire in how to manage your water, both home residence and when you're moving about. Your carting and work assets, for example, oil and oil rags for your knives, your shovels, your tools to keep them clean, oiled, etc. You can't go to the field and not have oil, and then you need rags, so then you don't want to have to use good rags. These are just small things. So anyway, lots of checklists help out in each area: medical and health, mental and spiritual. Oh, that's going to be a big one now. Before the book burning phase, the digital shutdown of the ability to get access to personal memorabilia. Oh yeah, like I have my. I saw one episode of a survival. Really moved me. The one guy, what kept him going was the memories of his mother, and to make him think of the thought as he sat there with broken pelvises coming down from a mountain in Romania, and the spiritual part about it helped keep him going. What an amazing story it is. Team, special equipment, homestead protection, so a lot of stuff. And as well, you get into a work for Ferps. So I have this fighting or existence continuous development and improvement process. Alrighty then, to ensure that you can get from readiness levels, move your readiness levels up. One of those is to make sure that you do a assessment, fill in pencil where you're at, like where's your hospitals, what medical assets do you need, how much medications should you have on hand, so that you know if something hits the fan and you know your current status is. If you have diabetic medication and the hospital is flooded, you don't have access, then you're going to have a hard time. Airports, train stations, railroad tracks, really important. Recently, several stories of trains derailing near towns, whole towns evacuated because of chemical spills, fires, just you name it. Okay. And of course, this section has a leadership development guide. It's just some general guidance if you're a young leader of a church group, of a small group, of a team, of a business, of any small group unit, of a family. You want to develop your leadership capabilities. I've got some guidance here to help. Just general guidance to develop, for the long term, self-development skill was to build your leadership ability. I hope this advice and guidance will help so that when and if you ever have to face that situation, then you have the capabilities to think through a serious, dangerous situation and survive. Today's demonstration, we're going to do a Swamp X continuation of advice. First, I wanted to start with the talk about vitamins C powdered and vitamin tray. I keep that in my bag, quick access in the front pocket, so that I can remain healthy. If I feel an onset of a sickness, I can plus up on the vitamin C and keep myself healthy if I can't eat right, and the local food. Gator Ferps Workbook 3. Before you go to the field, Let's do an example here. Say, for instance, some advice today on lighting and power supply. This gives you a guide as well as each area sustainment for cooking and ideas, and it's space for notes of what you've accumulated and the date and or any other notes, information that you want to track about what you're accumulating, for example, to be able to cook and sustain in the field. Today, we're going with a lesson here now about those cutting and work assets, individual gear, recommendations for what basic individual Gator gear that should be carried in the Gimmel or the GEL, the Gator immediate mission load or the Gator existence load. Gimmel is the items that you want to have on your immediate body, a load-bearing equipment, load-bearing vests, etc., that you can get from surplus, and or just a belt with enough stuff on it, including like a e-tool, axe, knife, etc., so that you have on you that one you can use for protection, for work assets, and so forth. And then the existence load is your rucksack and your bags and your stuff that you can, considering too, we have a vehicle with a packing list, but you also have bags so that when you're mobile and then you have to transition from wheeled to mobile bug out, then you have the ability and everything organized and packed well so that when the bug out and you got to abandon your vehicle, then you can quickly do and not leaving stuff behind. Okay, so let's get into cutting and work assets, fire and energy management, basically lighters, steel wool, fire starting equipment, disposable, like here we got diesel gas fuel, we got regular mo gas fuel, goes for this Primus Omni fuel stove that I figured out, as well as I got the other option. So I've got multiple layers of how to heat my water to purify it if need be. And prior to me needing purified water, I have cases of water to back me up. Lighting and power supply. All right, so think to yourself, look around your house, do an inventory. We may not have the money. I've been building up my supplies slowly, sales, surplus stores. Sometimes I buy stuff that ends up, on an impulse buy because you think it's going to work, but you've got to do a legitimate test of stuff when you look at it in the store. Don't impulse buy. Look at the item and test it. Say, for example, knife. You have knife. You should know all the the spine, right? The pommel, the blade, right? All the tip, all the different parts, what they're for. And so you think what kind of jobs you need to do. I need a job that's going to protect. Here you can do quick pounding. Here you have good blade. You also have the ability within my books to be able to figure out the types of metals, what's good for what. Identify, for example, here I have a quick, easy use so I don't lose it, and the quick release in case I want to do them. Then when I get done, I just put it back, and then therefore I won't lose my item. So basically, and in place for notes, so then you have space for continuous learning. You make notes so that you see something you want to annotate, or your lesson learned, saw another video, then you can make those, that continued continuous improvement of your learning. Now, say for instance, here I got my tactical tests out too, which during long duration stops, you have the time to pull out. Say for instance, I stop and I need, a shame on me if I don't know how to tie knots, right? Go slow here so you can see tax op 1, table of contents, so you can easily see, for example, if you're going around, you want to figure out hardness scale, HRC scales, steel types, the different parts of the knife. You have quick access to this information tabbed up here. First aid in tax op 1 is the one that you want to carry with you, so that on your body, 3 book I call, so you have quickly pull out and you have different tangible first aid guides to help you along in when if you have an injury in your outing. Okay, so for example, here we're going to go to well, let's say, for instance, I got self-defense. I got minimal self-defense procedures, maybe in and around an area where there's riots or you've entered into a dangerous area. It's probably the wrong time to figure out that you need to learn how to defend yourself. However, you've got the guide here, self-defense, enough information, use of each tool to defend yourself from rioters or robbers. That's something you definitely want to build up your stamina, your abilities prior to going to a total catastrophic disaster, as well as just it's good to be tactically sound. Say, for example, I need to make a shelter, secure something, create a ad hoc raft to be able to cross the stream, or make a rope bridge. I got nice light webbing, which can be used in case, say, for instance, I need to quick a rigs so I can carry some large volume water container or some logs or for whatnot. Whatever purpose, rope, cordage serves as your nuts and bolts in the field. Your straps basically will help you out. So, but if you don't have knowledge of knots, I sure would hope that you built a minimal knowledge of understanding of some knots. But if you're on a prolonged break, you can go to, for example, tabs, right? Knots and cordage. So we have the basic elements of rope, a section that can help give you the definitions: bite, standing end, turn, basic hitches, lashings, knots for loops, knots for joining rope. Say, for instance, if you need, the functions of the ability to maximize your assets, your rope or your webbing, whatever you have. So this has all the different knots. It's going to take practice. It's good to at least know the end of the line bowline, the square knot. Two good examples, tangible examples of when we might need. You got a casualty. These are more advanced knots, but webbing also, serves well as making improvised seat harnesses. Square knot. Square knot. Explanation and demonstration of how to make it. I have a small bottle of peppermint so I can mix with water and soap solution and to make a good bug repellent, natural type. And I keep, this is my emergency one that I keep in my bag that I don't touch just in case I end up losing my other bottle, and then I have backup. Now, here under here too, notice, have Ranger roll, we have tarp, pegs, oilcloth, and this is wrapped up. And then there I got an extra t-shirt, extra cloths. I actually like to keep this within my bag, pull out, use for a ground cloth, for a cover when the hot sun is out during the day. And then I have either you can use for a reflector, tie it up, and it's secured to my bag. I really wanted to get into this part about power management supply. Oh, and by the way, here you see their foraging bag. There's first aid kit with medical tape, band-aids. Real quick, easy access right there. So if I cut myself, I don't have to go dig and waste all kinds of energy and time. I pre-rigged these here so that if I throw the tarp out, I can use the tarp for cover if I need be and tie it down. I have stakes. They may not stick in the sand, so you have to dig them in, and I've got an E-tool for that. I've assessed basically, I don't have an axe here because it's hard to travel with, but honestly, there's no wood in this type of environment. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do a demonstration. I keep this single source shot, got everything I need. A solar panel, plug for my car, cigarette lighter adapter, USBs, and plug adapters. Light, which is the USB-C rechargeable type. I'd rather have most of my gear on the same type of power supply. However, over the years, I've accumulated flashlights when you purchase, like 5 years ago. It's different adapters, so then you got to keep and maintain different types of adapters. Okay, so demonstration of a knife, still not secured down, shame on me. I've got to do some maintenance. That's why, you know, demonstrating this so that you can see. Shame on me. I tried to fix it. I had this in my bag and fixed it in the field because it's cheap. Unfortunately, knife, very decent knife. However, the sheaths, when you're evaluating your items and you put an emphasis on looking at your knife that you've got, this knife here, had to take the thing off because you can't travel with that. Got a lockbox that I put the knives in so I can travel legally. Now, if I'm rolling around in the field and if I don't have this tied down, then shame on me. When I lean over, it's going to fall out. Almost everything I buy is on sale. Got these for $7 each. Gear Keeper, low tension sidearm tether. Well, guess what? Let me see here. Oh yeah, quick release. I might have a solution for my knives. I want a quick release option that's sturdy so that if I need to grab my knife, I could just pull it out. I'm gonna check out, see if that rigs up. But instead of paying original price on that, I got it for $7. Okay, you see here, I got this secured down. I kind of like this. I'm getting used to it. I bought these on sale. It secures to my belt. Good option. Boom. Hey, I don't know. I haven't been out in the field. It's just demonstration. You gotta get the stuff and you gotta figure it out for yourself. I saw it on sale. It's heavy duty, so I won't lose it because I'm getting old and I lose stuff. Here, got a knife, bone handled. It's got a hole in it, so it's good. I need to put a lanyard on there, secure it so that I don't lose this. With quick release, it's lock blade too. Good. See, I don't like knives that are not lock blade. If I need to do a job, fine task, I'll pull out. Oh my God, I got a dirty. I failed to clean that. What? So if I got a job, I need a finer job to do some kind of a task. I've got my Swiss Army knife. It's got quick removal so that if I need to give it to a buddy to do something with, and I can secure this to my belt, put it in my pocket. Knife, make sure it's sharp. If it's not sharp in the field, make sure you got some kind of sharpening stone. All right, so job to do, secure. I'm still figuring out. I grabbed this because key was the knife that was in here, the blade was longer than 12 centimeters. So this is less than 12 centimeters. It's good, but it's a lock blade. Now this is for tougher tasks. So if you pull out your knife, just know if you're doing it, it doesn't lock, so it could fold back on your fingers. Works. I've got in here rechargeable batteries. Got a solar panel that could recharge the AAA batteries. But I'm talking about power management supply. You see, you got a USB rechargeable. This is the older type. Got a new one at home that uses the new USB. So this battery works there with that type of. So that means I got to have that kind of connector. I've got to have the USB-C for my cell phones. I've got to have. This is a quick release on there, but at least if it falls out, I gotta burn this. I got a frayed knot. Oh God. See? But at least I'm not gonna lose it, and I got a quick access, easy way to get some light if I needed it. Alright, so jobs to do. Figure out lanyard with quick release for the knife. Fix my sheath. Figure out lanyard. Everything tied down, or else I'll lose it. Here we have solar panel. USB-C. A multi, got plenty of USB-Cs. I got excess batteries for my flashlight here. Rechargeable AAAs. There's my cable, and you see redundancy. Got to have plenty of cables, because then when you need to charge something, for example, I need to charge the iPhone cheap thing broke. I need this type of connector here for this one. Here, within here, you'll want, for your car, you travel with this, make sure I've got USB-C, and then all the different kind of connectors. I have a USB connector here for my cords. Now this, lots of USB-C connectors. That goes for batteries, like I see. And I can either put them in here, or I can take my multi adapter here and hook that up there. Now I'm losing my sun, losing my day. And then as well, you see, we could sit there and charge our batteries during the day. Hot sun out, we got plenty of sun around this area, and I want to make sure I got thing charging. I got stuff here. I got backup rechargeable batteries, lighter, battery pack for my phone, and all the necessary adapters that I might need to run and manage the equipment that I have. And this is another adapter for multi USB. Very valuable, because otherwise I am restricted on my ports to be able to hook up to the power supply. So I gotta take this. Been meaning I need to rig this to here. Okay, and I got my quick rig cord here. Okay, you see how valuable cords are. Our rig is charging here. I'm losing daylight. So while you can, I've got this set so it's on the top of the vehicle, good place, good access to the sun, but it's going down. I'm losing daylight. Every chance you get, charge your items. Power management supply means the items, the connectors, everything that I need to be able to power the items that I have. I'm losing daylight. It takes a good amount of planning so that you're not stuck without light, without power, without the ability to communicate and power the things that you need to power. If I needed, I have my rig hooked up so that I could hang it from the trees. And the amount of power that you get, basically this will divide the power, but it's not very much now. The sun's going down, so it's getting weak. While you have the daylight and that sun, day is gone. If you don't manage, and then if sun goes down and you don't have your things charged up, you're going to be in trouble. You want to, now that the sun's gone, I've lost any charging capability. Got to make sure you manage your power supply. If I didn't have sun, if I was in an area with rain, at least I have this as an alternative to use my battery for my car. So when I'm driving, if I've got low batteries, I'm making sure, and or low flashlight, anything that needs to be powered that's rechargeable, I'm gonna maximize that time when I'm driving so I don't have to utilize and wear down my battery, and everything's always charged up. Now, the one problem I have is don't have my connector that adapts this plug-in 220 to my 110. That is left in my room. So shame on me. However, at least most of my items would be able to be recharged. I could recharge my flashlights here. I could recharge my cell phones. I have my other lights and my batteries that I need and use. I hope that gives you some good advice. Got things packed up. Everything's rigged, as well as, don't forget, I forgot to tell you, within these packs for the batteries, I have gel packets to help ensure reduce humidity and keep the batteries dry. It's very important that you can plan, and the Gator publication set can help you. This is my standard belt that I wear. Expedient, I have my belt. I can put knife, which I see I had to repair here. Here, you take it, want to tie it down, secure it down so that it doesn't get lost. Knife, secure it down so it doesn't get lost. Picked up these little things real cheap. I was, impulse buy, but they'd be a good option when these grommets tear off. Expedient, like $1 a piece. They may be brittle and break in the cold, but if my grommets break, I've got an option for my corners to hook up for the shelter. More junk. 4 of them, so if I need to put on the ends back up for when my grommets fail, which I've been out there in the field where the tarps will eventually tear off, everything wears out, everything disintegrates to nothing. So with that, you see, now I've got a good LCE, load carrying equipment, to have what I call the gimbal, Gator immediate mission load, so I can have this on my body when I'm walking around trying to do tasks. Opportunity training. Got my water expandability hooked up, 2-quart canteen, 42-ounce Big Bubba. Now, I've been talking about this here. Either I got my Prima stove, which I will eventually do I got my little golf ball. I'm gonna play some golf, keep myself entertained. Course of action number 1 is gonna be this, when I get my canisters filled with fuel, and I deserve to test that out, so that if I'm sitting here and all of a sudden, boom, I ended up in a disaster situation and my fuel can's empty, because I didn't get time to figure this out. Out of all the tasks in life, the Primus Omni Fuel, heavy duty, foldable thing, pretty expensive. All together with the 2 water bottles that I got is about 200 bucks. It better work. I carried it around all over the place. Just haven't had time. Gas powered, multi-fuel, gas powered, so I can either use diesel or regular gas or gas canister. The vehicle has a gas tank. This will help siphon if I needed to get an emergency. So I got it if need be. So if I run out of this fuel, then I've got an alternative for fuel to be able to siphon some fuel from the gas tank. And it's stuck in the area where it's there if you need it. But I still haven't had a chance to fire it up yet. I want to get some diesel fuel and regular fuel and test it out. Head off here a sec. But I wanted to show you a few things. Okay, what am I doing? That's why I got this wire. I'm going to show you take opportunity, weapons, hunting tools. If I need it, got my quick grab. You can grab your knives. Get the knife here. If I need it, see. What is that? Pliers. My wire. See, instead of talking, I want to do, because I think I could show better than I can do, or this is what you call hands-on demonstration or talk-to method or something. I remember doing those back in the day when I was drill sergeant. Probably I can't see, and I don't want to have to pull my glasses out. Imagine tonight. This is that thin wire, real good. They called it Christmas wire when I bought it, but so if I wanted to, it's off stream. If I wanted to go hunting, this would be real good for a quick. Or I keep several of those pipe fasteners in there. Secure this down. Tight as possible. You know, and you do as many wraps as you need depending on the job you're doing. If I want to do some spear fishing, or if I might need to defend myself, I got a rebar, you know, found, and or you can use wood, sticks, whatnot. Keep that open there. Secure it down, and then now I got this to tighten down. And I'll cinch this down very tight. And there's demonstration one. Field expedient, quick weapon, and or I can use a little piece of wood I found. There you are. Pretty sturdy, huh? Spearfishing, protection. No, it's just a small knife, just for example. If I needed to, I could put my big knife on there quick. But based on the task at hand, if I want to go and get a snake and eat them up for dinner, I'm not going to use my big knife. I want to keep my big knife available for other jobs. Again, redundancy. I have this knife. I have this knife. I have that knife. That knife has a knife. That knife, then we have a light there. And then I have other knives, other places throughout my entire gear. I like other knives. I have less knives here because I traveled. And what I can bring with is difficult. This is legal. It's a lock blade. It's short. This is legal. It's a lock blade. It's short. This is legal, but I have to put it in a lockbox when it's traveling. All right, let's pull this out. Hold on a second, see? I did tie it down. So I could pull this out. I got another knife here, bone handled. And there, lock blade, less than 4 inches. Fixed blade knife. With the pommel, with the whole lanyard. I need to link. I've been saying that forever. Got to get off my butt sometimes. Defense in a riotous situation. Again, quick access. Bad thing about it is I need to take and make a lanyard. I bought a lanyard. I'm going to try to hook up, and or if not, I got to get off my lazy butt and finally hook a quick release lanyard for my knife. Because my sheath, again, field maintenance, my Velcros are not sticking. So I'm gonna have to figure a way, because that's dangerous. Can't be losing asset in the field. Make sure this is level. And I better have my my notebook. Better have my lighter here. There you go. So I bought these at a local store for actually $3 for a big 6-pack. Working. And this comes from the Pathfinders. Right, Pathfinder. I'll post that link to survival folks. All right. So alternatives. I carry this around, goes with me. I love this because it fits in the bottom of my pocket here. You notice too, my pocket wearing out. I got to do some sewing over here. I got fish wire that's in my bag for quick so the holes don't expand, and then next thing you know, I'm losing an asset. All right. Again, 40 quart or 40 quart. Very dyslexic. 42 ounce, 2 quart. And what is this? This is 1.5 liter, which I could fill. This is empty already. So can you estimate how much, when the weather was only about 90 degrees today at its height, and the time period's shorter because we're closer to the equator, sun goes down much quicker and it doesn't get as hot. But say for instance I've got my cloth in here, I need to pull water from a expedient water source, a hole, or wherever. I have a cloth to filter to get the large and clean it. There's a first aid kit on my bag that I carry, what I call my C3 bag. I got a syringe to measure my chlorine, to put it in water if I needed. Got compasses, magnifying glass to be able to see since I'm half blind. I don't have anything for my ears since I don't have a horn since I'm blind and half deaf. Got maps in case I need to orient where I'm going. I got my TaxOp 2 carrying today, TaxOp 1. I've been studying this just while I get a break. Good to carry with you and then have quick access. TaxOp 1 is the one better to have right access while you're walking around. You need to stop real quick and try to just reference, for example, how many milliliters of chlorine you might need for a 5-gallon jug of water or a 2-quart canteen or so forth. Again, put things back so you don't lose them. Put things back so you don't lose them. This normally goes right here. See, it's right there where I need it. Quick, boom, dump. And here's the problem with my boots. Good sturdy boots. Been through hell grinding in the desert, but sand can get up in here. And if it does, I'm gonna have a ground up feet. I'd like to get my cloth piece out. If I was really doing heavy work in the desert, I want to make sure this is sealed to ensure no sand gets down there. As well, if I take a rest, I don't want any dangerous critters, scorpions, spiders, whatnot, climbing down and giving themselves a little hiatus in my boots. Especially if you bug down and you sleep, make sure that you're checking everything prior to, as well as before I sat down in this area, I ensured the entire area was clear, kind of tussled with the rocks, ensured nothing scorpion climbing up behind my back. I haven't seen a scorpion today. It's because I think I'm not expert at. I've seen plenty of scorpions in the desert in my time. I probably need to study more about them. All I know is the black ones can hurt, and I know that the little green ones can kill you. So there's a different level. There's a different pucker factor when I see the different scorpions. Let me relight my. I got lighters everywhere. And see, there's some. I laid my lighter down in the sand. Discipline. Make sure you put things back in the designated pocket area, sleeve, whatever. I mean, for example, like pockets here. That's good for a bottle for either water purification tablets or a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, or if you prefer iodine, liquid droppers. See how much more quicker. It's good to be able to make sure that's going good. Sometimes you might have to dig down your canister to ensure there's plenty of air. Self-Reliance Outfitters, SRO, excellent, well thought out equipment. Fits in here, canteen cup. They also have a gripper, which I don't use. I like the handles on them. I love the handles. One key is on this stuff. The reason I didn't bring Survival Readiness Outfitters comes with a nice little can fuel, because I can't carry that on board. So these are alternate. Make sure there's enough air getting in there. Okay, you got to check it out. It's got air holes in the back. Don't lose your cap, because you want to be able to reuse that I bought 6 cans for like $3 here at the local store. Let me make sure it's rolling. Yeah, ooh, it's hot. Burnt myself a little bit. In the field, you'll find everything is worth something. And some things that you think are normally worth nothing are worth something. Been dragging that tire around all day, fitness. Gotta try to stay in shape. Because when the real thing hits the fan, it's better be miserable while you have a shower. Train up so that when the real thing hits the fan, you're not gonna be totally late. Some of the stories you see people when they end up survival, and they wanna, there's some amazing stories. People surviving horrendous things. Thank God, good for them, they survived. It goes to show, with the right willpower, you can do anything. Make sure you get outside and work, build calluses, ground yourself to the earth, get used to the elements, like the flies, you know, bugging around. Mentality, you out in the field, waiting on my, look at that, my water's already getting hot. Water's hot enough. I'm gonna make my tea. I've got my cap, don't lose your cap. Gloves, deerskin gloves that my daddy gave me about 30 something, almost chipped over my water. These gloves are probably older than most people watching this movie. Let it cool. Here I have, still good to go. Now, one thing about these is when they're empty, you could fill them full of sand and put fuel in them. Diesel is better because it'll burn slower, but it'll be harder to light. A mix of diesel, sand, and regular gas will make a good furnace, and it'll burn. Sun's going down. I got about 4 fingers of sun left, but it's going straight down. It's funny how in the desert that their perception is sometimes, you know, when the sun goes down like this, you've got a long time for it to go down. But here, when the sun's going down, the closer you are the equator, however that works, flat, round, I don't care what the earth is, I really don't care. All I know is the Lord God Almighty's coming. That when the sun comes down, it's going quick. So when the sun's about that far up from the horizon, when you're in the desert, you better start making a camp if it's in the winter months. In the summer months, when it's so hot, you might have to decide to make shade and hole up during the day. All right, we're moving out. Just gonna conduct a quick break, real fast test, just to see how fast I can stop, move to establish a quick erect shelter in the event of some kind of an emergency stoppage. Raining, vehicles broke down, dangerous situation, gotta move. How well you can react if it's a sudden emerging onslaught of a situation is how well you prepared. It took me a couple minutes to get ready. I'd rather have it to the status of all I gotta do is stop, grab my stuff, and go. So if I had to stop, or I had to move out quickly into terrain like this, then whatever's left in the vehicle and whatever I have on my back and on my body is what I need to survive with.
In this lesson, we focused on the incremental preparation and training of individual skills and resource readiness tailored to a specific area. The objective was to provide the example of a real-life person with a day job trying to juggle readiness using variable high to low quality resources. Not everyone may be intent on going deep into the wilderness, but there is a very moderate risk to everyday life, including vehicle breakdowns, violent storms, or sudden need to evaluate an area due to a man-made or natural catastrophe. Honing the skills of cumulative tasks that combine to create a collective capability to survive are best learned in the pre-deployment phase prior to any disaster. Then if you and your small group unit are thrown into a survival situation, you have a better and easier chance of survival. First, we talked and crawled through variable methods of different concepts of survival support tasks. Then slowly, as you gain individual competency learned in a garrison or residential environment, confidence in your capabilities will increase. The SPOE Deserts lesson, Part 3, will provide training in a continued progressive walk to a good readiness rate, capable of running through any task like an expert. Part 3 will attempt run-phase style mini exercises within specific tasks, conditions, and standards. Getting into the field, rolling up sleeves, and getting dirty. You should try to rally motivation within your small group unit while conducting collective team tasks, such as mobilize to the field, aka bug out quickly, or occupy a base camp effectively. Go camping, or at minimum, conduct day trips to a nearby park. While there combine a fun group event to build interest across your small group. Meanwhile,
Dirt buggies out
get
here.
right, get ready. Look up in the sky, because soon it's time.
Yeah, we got
You're invited
sunset
to
coming
a
up.
wedding, get right, get ready, look up in the sky. You are the bride, make yourself ready, soon you'll hear a voice in a blink of an eye. To the sky you'll fly, sing hallelujah to Adonai. With his power and fight, death will fly. Price for this one-way ticket, he already paid. Nailed to a cross, he bled sin away. He's the truth, life, and the way. Even the stones will sing and praise the Lord Adonai. I'm ready today, waiting like a ranger for the thief in the night. My lamp stand high, ready to fly. Remember the last things he said, lo, I'm coming soon. Adonai, amen, we'll listen to you, almighty groom. Oh, listen real close and in faith, I believe you're the only way. But caution we must heed, don't be one of the elect, living falsely and in greed. Adonai, he's coming real soon. Burn our works and see what comes through. Though he said he's coming soon, but bring just payment for what you do. He's the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and end, first and the last. His kingdom will never end, and you're invited to be a citizen. So get right and get ready, look up in the sky, because soon it's time. Soon, Adonai, amen, we'll listen to you, almighty groom. I listen real close and in faith, I believe you're the only way. But caution we must heed, don't be one of the elect, living falsely and in greed. Adonai, he's coming real soon. He'll burn our works and see what comes through. Oh, he said he's coming soon, to bring just payment for what you do. He's the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and end, first and the last. His kingdom will never end, and you're invited to be a citizen. So get right and get ready, look up in the sky, because soon it's time.
So
So, what now, my friend? Time to shake it off, let the good vibes blend. So I said now, get off your butt. Praise the Lord for all he gave us. It's time to strut. Put down the drink, grab life by the tiger tail. Ride it up high, let those worries derail. Turn off the TV, put on some good tunes. Feel the beat flow like the sun at noon. Rock up, get ready, gonna hit the mountain high. Chasing those dreams, let's reach for the sky. Said now boom, boom, what you gonna do? The car done stopped and you're stuck in the woods too. No food, no water, no luck at all. But that ain't you, you prepare for the fall. Boom, boom, let the tiger help you move. Pray to the Lord in whatever you do. Ride the wave, jump from a plane, glide through the sky like a true old man. Praise the Lord, whatever you do. Life is so much more than drugs and booze. Chilling on the deck, feel the breeze flowing. With a heart full of gratitude, the love keeps growing. Grab your crew, let's light up the spark. Under the stars, we'll thrive in the dark. Look up the mountain, see the stars he made for you. With every step taken, feel the spirit break through. Nothing stopping us, let's make our own way. So let's live for the day. Feel the rhythm, let it guide your stride. With a crew beside you, there's nothing to hide. We'll dance in the moonlight, laughter fills the air. Riding down this highway with no hint of despair. So raise your glass high to the blessings we keep, to the grind and hustle, to the peaks that we reach. With joy in our hearts, we let worries drift. Life's a wild ride and this is all give. Boom, boom, let the good times roll. Join the party now, let's fill up our soul. Rock up, get ready, gonna hit a mountain high. Chasing those dreams, let's reach for the sky. Said now boom, boom, what you gonna do? The car done stopped and you're stuck in the woods too. So life is a dance with our hearts open wide. Let's take that chance. Praise the Lord every day. That's the key. So let's ride this wild life, you and me. Yeah. So life is a dance. Yeah. So life is a
Got any last words, kitty cat? You are sentenced to hanging.